But one of the most beautiful areas in the UK is an area called the Lake District. It's in the northwest of the UK. It's a collection of mountains and lakes, obviously, as the name suggests. It's outstanding natural beauty. And I've come across this lovely picture here. This is a bridge over Tarn Beck, one of the areas in the lakes. And we've got this lovely stone bridge here, a very old, probably a pack horse bridge of some sort. And we've got a few cattle just bathing in the water there. We've got some nice light here and some shadow area. But I thought there's a lot of challenges for me here. There's a nice rocky outcrop there. Can you see there? Let's try and get those different colours. And a few of these trees, different foliage on. And we've got some walls here, a little bit of fencing, and even got one sheep down there, I think. And a gateway, and some cattle under the bridge there. So I've got to get these darks and the faraway hillside as well. I've got to try and introduce some distance there. So I've got to keep that fairly muted, not a lot of colour there. But as we come to the front, of course, we've got a lot more intense colour with these grasses and bracken and what have you there. But anyway, I'm going to have a go at that today. I can't wait for the warmer weather to come because I shall probably go up to the Lake District. I absolutely love it up there. So where do we start? Well, the traditional view is to start with your darkest darks, actually. And so I think I'll do with that. I've got some liquid here and my usual range of colours. I've got yellow ochre, titanium white, burnt sienna, burnt umber, raw sienna, sap green, some viridian, ultramarine blue and cerulean, cadmium yellow, and a little bit of cadmium red as well. I don't suppose we move much in that, but and I'm using liquid now, which will help the paint flow off of my brush a little easier. So I'm starting out with a fairly biggish brush, an 8 here, long flat. So let's get something now, a little bit of umber and some ultramarine, fairly loose mixture, fairly thin. So I think I'll get in this dark of this river, this beck, as they call them up there. Just going to roughly map in these darker areas, block in, as we say. And the dark under the bridge there. Nice big dark bit there, of course, which is under the shadowed area. But as I said, this I'm just going to try and map in a few of the darks and the tones and the bridge that comes across there, and all the stonework. So we'll get all the more accurate colours as we go. But at this point, I just want to map out what I've got. Up here we've got scrub on this hillside and some trees. I think we'll do that. And we've got a little wall going along there, and a little roadway. We'll put some different colours in there, and of course in the area here we've got grass. Let's get a bit of, no reason why we shouldn't approximate something, so let's put a bit of green in there. We'll say this is only a first pass, really. This liquid I've got, this is Winsor & Newton liquid, using it as a medium. That's age drying, but mainly helps you get the paint off your brush if you want to let it flow a little easier. But this will dry very quickly too, so that could be useful if you're out doing plein air painting as well. You might find that handy when you're traveling, not to have to come back with it too wet, although you can get yourself little carriers, little wet paint carriers. I haven't actually got one, but because this is a Prochard box, I can drop down two boards. I've got the canvas board here. This is 10 by 12, and I can have it slotted in there while I paint, but unfortunately I have a little edge there that will be left unpainted, so I've pulled it out and just got a sort of little cramp here just to hold it while I get cracking. Got to make sure I move that, of course, when I get further down, otherwise I'm going to have a little mark there. So I was saying, these are just big brushes at the moment that I'm using. Let's get some raw sienna there. And this river here, the Beck. I'll get something dark in there, I think. Let's say it's got to go through its ugly phase, as they always do, until you've got it laid out. It's a dark bank there. I'm using yellow ochre here with that blue, so you get a sort of greeny, bluey colour. And we get a little bit lighter here, which is a little, I'm going to get some cattle in here as well, I think, unless I chicken out on that. But it's a good challenge. And here we've got quite a bank of weeds and reeds. A little darker under here. There's another arch here actually, so we'll make sure we got something dark in there to suggest. I use a finer brush a little bit later. Now let's get some green in here. That's far too green. Let's put some titanium in that. It's just a little paddock area there, a little green anyway. Oh, not exactly a paddock, but just the bank here. But we've got green up here. And I've got to keep it fairly muted because I want to introduce some distance, some perspective to show it's further away there. So we've got some light coloured green there. Let's brighten it a little bit with a little bit of yellow in there. A bit darker here in the foreground. Right, let's see where we're going there. And we want some now. Let's get some raw sienna and a little bit of umber and get some different colours here. Some tree here. And also we've got scrubby trees there. I'm squinting my eyes, the usual trick to help you to cut out all the detail, or a good amount of the detail, and allow you to focus on the big shapes, lights and darks. Again, we need more, got to keep it cool. A little bit of lemon yellow there, a hint of green, light green. Right. Now out on this hillside, I'm looking very carefully, it's quite pale. I think I'm going to have a very muted colour up there. Maybe a little raw sienna. Make it a little bit of blue as well, I think, just to push it back a little bit, a bit of cerulean perhaps. Oh, that's far too bluey, or dark rather. Let's get some I need something a bit bluer there. Get some of that cerulean mixed in. Yes, that needs to be a lot lighter. Let's put some, that's better. I've got some titanium there, painting over those blues and greens, and it's pushing it back a little bit. Just what I need to do. It's a bit greyish there. Put some more detail into this. When we've got our basic shape in, show some of the rocky outcrops that we have. And some rocky outcrops here. With little bits of put some lighter elements in there. Little bits of titanium. Try and suggest this rock face that we have there. And it comes down quite... There's some ochre there. So we're going to put a tree there as we go, and another tree here as well. We'll do with a finer brush, but this bit here, yes, I think that needs to be a bit darker. So that umber again. We've got trees here, just kind of hinting at them. We can put a bit of green in here. Needs a bit more green here. Let's have some contrasts. Right. This bridge comes across like this. Get some more stone-like. Come back with a finer brush as we go into the painting. Then we'll define some of the rocks, some of the bricks and stonework. At the moment, I'm just going to try and make it stand out, because it is catching the light. The stone here. Some bluey tones in here. Some umber. Right. Stone wall coming along there. Right, I think we'll put that tree in over that wall in a minute. A little bit of there's light showing under there. But we'll put in that dark element shortly. Right, and we'll have to get to the structure of the bridge, put some fine lines in to represent the stonework, the keystones and all that. Let's get a little bit of more on this rock face here. Let's just concentrate on that in a minute. We'll go back and put that tree over there, I think. Just showing me where I was intending it to go. We've got to get a nice curve as well for that bridge. We haven't got that yet. Right, now I'm going to clean off my brush a little bit, and we should put some of that, get that sky in. I think that's what we need. Yes. Alright, clean off my brush, try and keep it a little cleaner. It helps keep the colours clean, you don't want them to get muddy. So I'm using odorless mineral spirit here. So let's get some. I'm looking at my sky. It's quite a coolish sky, so I think I'm going to use some cerulean here and some liquid as well. That will help me get something flowing off. Far too. Oops. That's what I want. Use some more white now. It's titanium mixed with my cerulean. Yes, it's yes, that's coming off of my brush a lot better now when I use more liquid. You want to use different brush strokes for your sky. You don't want to do all this all the time, you know, you're not painting a door, as they say. Depends if you like to see the brushwork. Some people do. It's very much a value judgment, really. If you like a more painterly look, you like to see the artist's hand by his stroke, by his brush marks, then you do it in all sorts of directions. And usually, of course, it's going to be much bluer. In fact, I'm going to put a slight touch of ultramarine, paint it with my cerulean there and titanium for this upper area here. I want a bit darker up here. Yes, let's step that ultramarine up a bit. Want a fairly soft edge along there, which to help push the mountain side back a bit, but we'll deal with that a little bit as we go. A little bit cooler towards the lower part of the sky, of course. It's usually the way it is. There we go. A little bit. Do a bit of blending here. Paint it down. To get a transition from that warmer ultramarine down to the cooler bits of the cerulean, lower down the sky. Try and make a smoothest. My reference picture doesn't actually have any clouds in, but you don't have to be a slave to that. You may choose to do that or not. It's up to you. Now, while I've got a bit of this blue on my brush, I think I'm going to step up this darkness in this Beck here. So I've got burnt umber and ultramarine. I think this needs to be darker, so just step it up a little bit. Let's get some more liquid in there. Which I didn't clean my brush off so well, so I've got a bit of titanium in there, which is killing my darkness a little bit, but I'm just adding some raw umber. We'll take it down. I've got to get that dark under that bridge. Now, let me think I better. I've got to get a nice dark Bic in there as well. When we get onto the bridge, I got enough there now. Let's see. I got this rather big brush. We need to cut it in more there. Alright, we can deal with a smaller brush. Now, let's think, where should we go now? Let's put some different elements in this face here to show some of the outcrops. Just hinting at them really with this with this brush at the moment. Got dark under there, that part of the bridge there. Bridge structure. But we've got to get some suggestion of the rocky outcrops. There. Yes, I think we can. Yes, I think we've got some trees here, so I'm using a little of that green. Suggest these things. And we've got a lot of greenery here on this part here, and poking up from behind the bridge structure right. Now let's see, we've got to get, yes, we've got some greens, shrubbery here. I've got to get that little road in there as well. And we've got more grasses here. Let's get some of that lemon yellow there. And also we could start to put some in here. I'm going to use a fine brush in a moment to get some of these suggestion, these weeds and bracken and a little bit of cadmium red there. We can make some oranges as well. Let's do that. A little bit of some of that yellow, that lemon yellow. Just different colours. As I say, you don't have to be so literal to your photograph. You're making a painting, of course, which is a different thing altogether. So is it working as a painting? That's what you've got to ask yourself. More these stones, you can see the bottom of the beck there, you can see stones catching a little bit. Alright, get some fine things in there shortly, but let's, yes, I can see here, this needs to be a lot darker. Some reds, some blues, green. Let's darken up on this bit here. Comes down here, yes. A bit shadow-like, so we'll put some blue in there. Right, let's leave that for the moment and see if we can tighten up a little bit on the bridge, which is of course the star of the show. It's right in the center there. It's our focal point, so we've got to do that. And you've got to try and make every area interesting. Of course, we've got to get that tree in as well. And a soft edge to that mountain side there to help push it back, but I've got to keep it fairly light, otherwise it comes forward. I don't want that. Now let's, right, I think we should get onto smaller brushes and see if we can do something with these walls. It's a feature of the Lake District. Got these dry stone walls. They're beautiful. Right, let's get a smaller brush and start to put in perhaps our tree and that bridge. So let's clean that brush for the moment. We need a much smaller brush. See what we can do with this. I think I'm going to use some yellow ochre here, mixed with my titanium. Start to, I think it needs to be darker. I think we need some darks. Yes, that's what we need. Some umber. Yes, and they've got these keystones I've got to try and hint at. I don't think I've got the right brush here though. Let's just push on with this wall with these stones. Yes, just taking on a little bit of solidity now. Try to suggest some of these will come back and tighten up on the keystones, the key features. I'm noticing that lots of little, see the stone, I'm using all sorts of colours from my palette now. Blue, umber, little bits of green. I say we've got to get the keystones. That will start to make it read a little bit better, I think, when I've done that. So let's press on some things to suggest these stones. Have some darks and lights and those stones as well. Let's get something a bit darker though. Got to get those. This wall comes out here. Right, and then we've got our wall is coming out here. Right, is it coming to take shape a little bit? Now we just put some more green here, I think. Yes, we've got a lot of green. We can suggest the grasses here. And you want more detail in the foreground, more intense colour. It's always the case. In front of you, you'll see more colour. But let's get in with that tree. Gosh, I'm nearly out of battery. If it goes, I'll start filming again when my tree is in position. So you'll see that. But what I can do also with my palette knife, you can scratch in a few. So I could do some things with my bridge, couldn't I? Also up here, got those craggy outcrops there. And a little bit on the top of that hillside too. Just some flow water here. We've got brighter areas under there. So we've got to try and suggest some greenery perhaps. Right, let's green in there. Using a little bit of sap green with some titanium there. I want to brighten that green up a little bit in there. That's it, that meadow area. Got a little bit there. A little bit. The other side, that hedge. Right, let's leave that now and press on with, let's just use a bit of that yellow while I've got it. Get some nice bright green there, bright yellows and greens in our foreground. So I've got a bit of cadmium yellow there. Put the odd bit of white as well, matching some of the grasses. But no, let's get back on to the to the tree. So we've got to get the right brush for that. I think I need, yes, I think I've got a little skinny one here. This little one. If I get it sufficiently runny and enough paint on it, I might be able to mark in that trunk of that tree. Let's have a go. We need some really good dark, I think. Let's use this. Got that burnt umber. Paint that up a little bit. Put some ultramarine in it. Paint them well together. There's a bit of liquid in there too, so that should help it flow off my brush, I think. We will see. The beauty of, as I said before, on my videos is if you make a mistake, if it doesn't work with oil paint, don't worry. So you can just wipe it off and have another go. So on that basis, I'm going to try and put a nice tree here. Yes, we've got a bough there. But we need to take it quite a bit up here. As I say, this is alla prima, so it tends to be a little tricky when it's wet on wet. So you have to take a chance. That's it, I think. We're getting there. Roll your brush. I think I need to bring it up here a lot though. Yes, I can do that. Just light. You're going to have a very light touch. And keep recharging your brush. Right, that's not so bad. We'll bring one out here. I think a bigger trunk than that. Just rolling my brush a little bit. And I've also got a few trees out here. I got to try and suggest that, and a few here and there. And got some out here. We've got one here as well. Oops. think we're nearly done. Let's get some more. Well, there is my completed painting of the bridge over Tarn Beck, which is in the Lake District. I've done quite a bit since my battery died. Of course, I put that tree in and put the keystones and a little more work on this bridge so it reads better. We've got some cows in here, just taking a good drink. A few sheep over here. A little bit of an improvement to the rocky outcrop in the mountains in the background, and improved the little darker under there, under the arch and here, and just generally tightened up on things a little bit. But anyway, I hope you liked it, and as I say, it's the Lake District. If you're up there, if you can get a chance, do visit. You're going to see some amazing scenes. It's just one little element here, this old packhorse bridge, but you'll see some wonderful lakes and absolutely stunning scenery, so do take a look. But anyway, if you like this, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed, and then you'll be notified when I do more work. So thanks for watching.